Everyone wants to be more productive, but most advice sounds like it's made from people who have limited time. Wake up early, have a perfect routine, plan everything perfectly, but what if your schedule is already packed? Classes, work, commuting, fitness, home life, anything. So the real question is, what productivity system actually works when you are busy? I'm going to give you some of the productivity systems that I've used since I've been very busy and what hasn't worked for me. I'm going to be trying to teach you guys how to implement these systems for your own so that you can have the best productivity out of every activity you do. If you guys been keeping up with the podcast, you guys already know that I'm balancing commuting, school, work, relationship, family, health, everything in between, and trying to stay consistent with everything. So in this episode, we're not going to be talking about perfect routines. It's just going to be all about realistic systems that can actually help. I'm going to try my best to give you the best advice I can so that you guys can be as productive as I am and as productive with the time that you guys have. So I hope you guys take these to heart. For me, the biggest shift was realizing motivation isn't reliable. You cannot rely on motivation itself to keep you pushing, to keep you productive, to keep you on your toes. Some days you have it and some days you just don't. So instead of relying on motivation, you build systems, because systems don't depend on how you feel. They just run. There has been many times in my college career where I've had zero motivation to turn in an assignment, to start a project, to go study. There's been a lot of times that I've just had zero motivation. And I've realized that I can't keep going and keep relying on motivation itself to keep me on my toes, to keep me, to make sure that I get that assignment done, to make sure I get the project started and do the best I can, and to start studying for my exam that's coming up. I can't rely on motivation, because if I do, nothing will ever work out. Nothing. So I've developed systems for myself to ensure that I get that assignment done, that I make sure that I start the project on time, and to make sure that I study ahead of time before my exam. These systems have been super reliable for me to make sure that I get the best grades in my class, to make sure I'm always on my feet and not missing a single assignment ever. And I believe just systems are the way to go. I believe that they are beneficial in every way possible so that you never really receive burnout either. You can rely on this system 24/7. It's never going to go away. The only thing is just that it's up to you to keep that system running, to make sure that you're part of the system and that you are going with the plan. That's all up to you. But everything else, it's just a system. You just have to follow the system, follow the rules, see what kind of system you set up for yourself, and just go from there. For me, one of the most underrated things is using dead time, like commutes, walking in between classes, the gaps in between my classes, instead of, just throwing it all away and like scrolling, enjoying my time. I try to use the dead time to my advantage. What I do is I review notes, I plan the rest of my day or the rest of my week, listen to something useful, study, catch up on assignments. You can do so much with that time, and especially with me, since I have so much dead time on my hands. For me, almost every day except Friday, I haven't 3-hour gap in between my classes. And since I commute, I have nowhere else to go but stay in school. So for those 3 hours, I try my best to be as productive as possible. I sometimes scroll here and there, but I try to use all of the 3 hours to my advantage and get my assignments done, get whatever I needed to be done before I go home. And for the most part, I have been able to do that, especially since I have all the resources I need in school. I have all the professors there. I can just go up to them, ask them if I have any questions. So using that dead time really does help. Another dead time that I use is the commuting when I'm on the metro. I take that time a lot to just finish an assignment I couldn't finish last night, or review notes, take notes, and just really prepare before the day really starts for me. And since the commute is like an hour and I'm just sitting there in the metro, I could just scroll, but I know it's not the wisest thing to do when I have an hour of free time and I know I have stuff to do. So I just decide to take my laptop out and try my best to do everything I can in that hour. Those small moments of the dead time really add up when you think about it, because by the time I get home, using all that dead time, I've almost finished everything I needed to during the day. And by the time I'm home, I could chill, I can continue doing work, and I wouldn't feel too much pressure about it because I've done so much that day already, using my dead time, using my free time. So those small moments add up, and using that dead time is the best thing for you. The main thing you also want to do is keep it simple. A lot of people overcomplicate productivity. Too many apps, too many systems, too many rules. And then they don't stick with anything. It's just too much. For me, simplicity works the best. I've always said this. Simplicity is best. One calendar, one system, and clear priorities. That is it. I keep everything I need to know in my planner book. I make sure I write down everything that needs to be done that specific day or that specific week. I have my one system that keeps me in check, making sure that I do everything right. And I have my priorities straight. I understand what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. I understand how much effort I need to put into certain activities and which activities don't really need that much effort. So I would say, yes, if you can keep your system, your whole productivity system simple, it'll be so much easier for you and everybody else around you. That way you're not running around, looking like a little crazy person, making sure you get everything done, and you're panicking. You might not get this one thing done, but you're going to try to. If you just have one calendar, one system, and clear priorities, I can guarantee you can get all of those done in the matter of a day. Easily. It's just keeping it simple. Here's what doesn't work. Trying to be perfect doesn't work. At least for the most part. It's trying to be perfect takes a lot. Trying to follow a strict routine every day doesn't work because life isn't predictable. I understand, and I know many of you understand that it's very hard for sometimes to predict things that just come up, Some things just come up, and that's life. A car crash, maybe like a storm where you can't even go outside. The power goes out. Anything. Life is just too unpredictable, and it can be so messy that to the point where your strict routine cannot be followed. And that's okay. That's 100% okay. It's not your fault. That's just life. Some days will be messy. Some days won't go as planned, and that's totally okay. That's perfectly fine. You should honestly expect it. But the goal here is consistency, not perfection. I want you guys to understand that clearly, because for me, it was hard to learn that. I've tried to do all my assignments to the best of my ability to try to make them perfect for my professors. And that would take up a lot of my time. And there's nothing wrong with aiming for perfection, but it's just, it would take so much time. I looked into every detail of every single one of my assignments, word by word, making sure everything looks good. And that would just take up so much of my time. And in my head, I would know that it was good, but I just wanted to make sure. And I would try to tweak it to every little detail to make it look like an A assignment. But it's just too much. And honestly, perfection is, it's almost impossible to achieve. But aiming for perfection is good, but consistency is the goal here. Consistency, making sure you're doing everything at a constant rate. At the end of the day, productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what actually matters, because you don't have unlimited time, so you have to use it intentionally. If this helped you out even just a little bit, send it to someone who's also trying to be more productive in their life. I know many of you know people who are trying to be as productive as possible but just can't really find a way. And I would suggest you showing them this video and see what they think about it. Make sure to follow the podcast. Next episode, we're going to be talking about where I talk about everything I've learned from balancing all of this. And if you're trying to stay consistent right now, keep going. Just keep going, and you got this. I hope to see you on the next one, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.